Please state on behalf of Johnson & Johnson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. You know me. My name is Peter Bicks, and I want to thank you on behalf of my team, Morty Dubin, Lisa Simpson, and most importantly, on behalf of the men and women of Johnson & Johnson. For the next hour, probably a little bit more, I am their voice. And what you heard over the last hour and 15 minutes was an attack that went to the core of the people of Johnson & Johnson. Plaintiff's counsel told you that the people of Johnson & Johnson knowingly put asbestos in their product, didn't care about women, didn't care about babies, and that it wasn't just a matter of if it was a matter of when that somebody would get ovarian cancer. I told you in voir dire that the plaintiff would come out here with scare tactics. They talk about asbestos. Now I heard talk about fire, the fire department, and cancer, cancer, cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, what you heard and what was told to you about the evidence is not true. As a matter of fact, it is false. When you hear the evidence in this case, you will see that. And what was told to you over the last hour and 15 minutes about fire was like shouting fire in a crowded theater to get people to run and to not get people to think. What I'm going to talk about, actually, I'm not going to scream. I'm going to talk about evidence. And I'm going to tell you, when it comes to fire, what you heard over the last hour and a half was somebody blowing smoke. So I'm going to talk to you about the evidence. There's going to be no matches here, no gasoline, as plaintiff's counsel told you, and there's going to be no cause. No cause in this case. The evidence will show that Johnson & Johnson's product did not cause any plaintiff's cancer in this case. I want to start with something that Judge Burleson read to you in his instructions. He said after the opening statements, and remember what plaintiff said to you, it's not evidence. It was an opening statement. The plaintiff will introduce evidence. The defendants may then introduce evidence. And those reasons are important because the plaintiff has the burden of proof in this case. They must prove to you that not only was there asbestos in a mine that Johnson & Johnson used, but it somehow made its way into a bottle of baby powder. And that bottle of baby powder was a bottle that a plaintiff used, and that whatever was in there, in whatever baby bottle there was, somehow made it to a point in somebody's body where it caused their disease. That's a lot of steps that plaintiff's counsel didn't talk about. The burden of proof is on the plaintiff to prove that. We don't have to prove anything, but we will. We will. We will bring witnesses here, and we will present a case that will show everything that you just heard was false. Now let me start and talk to you about these plaintiffs. You were shown pictures of them, and absolutely, they are individuals, they are all different, and And let me say to each and every one of you who was introduced, on my behalf, on behalf of my team, and on behalf of the men and women at Johnson & Johnson, we are very, very sorry about what has happened to you. Cancer is a terrible thing. And I told you during the voir dire process that this has touched almost everybody's life. I told you that it had touched my life. And I know each and every one of you, when we talked during the voir dire, that it probably touched your life. And that's why we talked about it. But what's important in this case, as we talked about and as the judge said, is that we've got to set sympathy aside. And we've got to begin together the journey to discover the scientific truth. And that's the journey that I'm going to speak about. Plaintiff's counsel has said that the only thing that matters is that the plaintiffs used talc and that they got ovarian cancer. There are a bunch of steps that are missing because that's not how cancer works. Millions of women who use baby powder have not gotten cancer. And most who have ovarian cancer did not use baby powder. We're not going to tell you here exactly what caused the cancer in each of these individuals. That's impossible to know through science, and it's not our burden of proof. We are going to tell you one thing that the evidence will show. It wasn't Johnson & Johnson's product that had any role here. We also know two very, very other important things, ladies and gentlemen. Each of these plaintiffs had a doctor who took care of them. There will be no evidence from the plaintiff that any doctor who took care of them outside of the courtroom told them that the use of baby powder had anything to do with their ovarian cancer. And some of these doctors were asked that question. And you will hear evidence about what they said. These were the doctors outside of the courtroom who were responsible for caring for these plaintiffs. The second thing that you will hear in the evidence is that the people who told them about talc and ovarian cancer were lawyers' advertisements. Each and every plaintiff will tell you that they heard about talc and ovarian cancer from lawyers' advertisements, not from doctors. And I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that lawyers may think they're a lot of things, but they're not cancer doctors. We will present evidence from cancer doctors. I've got 3 of them up here. When it's our turn, and that will be probably 3 weeks from now, 3 long weeks, I have to sit over there and I have to watch. And I have to hear things that I know are not true. When it's our turn, we will bring 3 cancer doctors here. They're called gynecological oncologists. Cancer doctors whose specialty is ovarian cancer. Dr. Cheryl Sines from California. Eric Holcomb in the middle from New York. Warner Hubb from Alabama. Together, 70 years of experience dealing with people in real life, not in a courtroom, in real life. And every one of these doctors gets asked the question, when they've treated their hundreds of patients with ovarian cancer. Why me? How did this happen? And they answer that question for their patients. They've taken a look at all of the medical records of the plaintiffs, and they will tell you, as cancer doctors, not as people who come into a courtroom getting paid millions of dollars to testify, they will tell you that talcum powder played no role in the ovarian cancer of these patients. And they will base this on scientific truth. You will hear in this case about very important studies. And I listened over here for an hour and 15 minutes, and I said to myself, when will plaintiffs tell you about these studies? Not a peep. Not a peep. There have been studies for the last 20 years on this exact question. Does this talcum powder product have any role in ovarian cancer? 181,000 women have been studied. Ladies and gentlemen, that's more women that are in St. Louis. For 20 years, women have been studied to see what the science is about whether or not talc has any role in ovarian cancer. And you will hear about these studies, and the evidence will be that these studies show that there is no role, whatever is in the baby powder. And we will present evidence there's not asbestos. But this product has been studied, and this is what the evidence has shown. I'm going to talk really about three things. That Johnson & Johnson acted responsibly in selling its products, that decades of testing confirmed that Johnson & Johnson products do not contain asbestos, and that talcum powder use does not cause ovarian cancer. Those are the three things I'm going to talk about. But let me first tell you a little bit about Johnson & Johnson, because they were attacked. The evidence will show that they acted responsibly. Where did the company start? 1886, three brothers, Edward, Robert, James, came to Brunswick, New Jersey. And you can see in the background the building that they started in. That's where the company is located today. 1886 they started. One of the first products that they sold was Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. And I have up here, you can see on this old piece of brown paper, the Johnson & Johnson signature. That's the signature of the founders of this company. And you heard motive. It was about money. This is about money. False. Johnson & Johnson's baby powder, the evidence will show, is actually not a real money maker for the company. In a given year in this state, the revenues are about $300,000. But make no bones about that. This is an important product. And it's an important product because the signature of the founders are on every bottle. And they know that this is about trust. This is about the trust of Johnson & Johnson. Because they know that the people who use this product are mothers and babies. And these are Johnson & Johnson's customers. So this is about trust. And plaintiff's counsel said he wants to hear from people from Johnson & Johnson. You will when we present our case. And we'll bring two witnesses for you to hear. Dr. Susan Nicholson, and Dr. John Hopkins. Dr. Nicholson is a medical doctor. She is very important when it comes to women's health, and is one of the key people at the company about making sure that baby products are safe. So safe that she uses them herself. Dr. John Hopkins worked at Johnson & Johnson for more than 20 years. He's over in England now. He is a toxicologist. 3 kids, 8 grandchildren. His family uses Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Now I want to stop right there and make sure that what I just said is clear. Because there were accusations made about motive, about knowledge, hiding things. These are the people who know the information. And they use the product themselves and with their families. Common sense is something that I'm going to be talking about a lot here. That will be the best evidence that the product is safe. So what will the evidence show? That decades of testing confirm that Johnson & Johnson's talc does not contain asbestos.